The Houston Astros took 2 out of 3 from the Athletics at home this past weekend, including a 13-2 win on Saturday to improve their record to 30-37. Next up is a road series against the Angels. Game 1 is tonight, and first pitch from Angel Stadium is scheduled for 8:38, and you can listen to the action on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. In the NBA playoffs, the New York Knicks took a 2-0 lead in the finals with a 105-104 win over the San Antonio Spurs. Now, the series moves to New York with Game 3 being tonight. Tip-off from Madison Square Garden is set for 7:30. LSU's Michaela Williams and Mylasia Fuwiley helped Team USA win gold in the 2026 FIBA 3x3 Half-Court Women's Basketball World Cup. Williams also took home MVP in the tournament. LSU football also landed a 5-star edge rusher in KJ Green, who is the number 8 overall player in the 2027 class. Super Regional Weekend will continue tonight. West Virginia, Troy, UNC, Ole Miss, Texas, and Georgia all moved on this weekend. We're still awaiting a winner in the Lawrence and Tuscaloosa Super Regional. And on the PGA Tour, JT Paulson got past Ryan Gerard in a playoff to win the Memorial Tournament in Dublin, Ohio. I'm James Meche, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana Sports Station, your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. Dynamic duos are nothing new to Louisiana sports fans. Breeze and Colston, Burrow and Chase. And here in Acadiana, we have our very own dynamic duo.
You're beautiful.
It's the big, bald, bearded, and beautiful one, Raymond Parch III.
I'm sexy and I know it.
And the man with the best head of hair in sports talk radio in Louisiana and Mississippi, James Meche. Here is RP3 and Meche on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Happy Monday to you and yours, and welcome in to the first RP3 and Meche of the week. I'm the big, bald, beautiful one, Raymond Parch III, better known as RP3. And, of course, I'm joined by the producer extraordinaire, the man with the best trash stash in sports media in the states of Louisiana and Mississippi, LAB award winner, soon-to-be Yogurt U champion, James Meche. Good day, sir.
Happy Monday, Raymond.
Happy Monday to you, my friend. We got a great show lined up for you on this Monday. We're going to set the tone for the week for you. So coming up, we have 2 guests, both in hour number 2. Our buddy David Grubb from Bird Rights is going to give us the latest intel about the New Orleans Pelicans. What's going on there? Are they going to be aggressive? Are they going to move pieces before the draft? What are they going to do here? Keep getting told and keep hearing rumblings about things that they're going to be aggressive on the trade market. So we'll talk all things Pels, as well as get a preview of the NBA Finals. Game 3 will be tonight as the Knicks are up 2-0. That'll be coming up at 12 o'clock. At 12:30, we'll be talking all things Stros. They won a series over the weekend. Watch out now. We'll talk Houston Astros baseball. They're starting to get healthier. Hunter Brown is starting to make rehab starts. They're starting to get some guys back. Are they going to start heating up here, continue getting better and better, and put themselves in a position to make the playoffs? We'll talk all things Stros with our buddy Brett Chansey at 12:30. So those are the 2 guests that we got lined up for you today, both in hour number 2. We'll also hear from Trey Harris, former local product, put on his football camp over the weekend. We were there at checking it out, so we'll share some things that Trey had to say about coming back home and putting on a football camp for the youngsters. We'll have that for you in hour number 2 as well. We'll also recap the weekend that was for Super Regionals. Some thrilling games, and teams have already punched their ticket to Omaha. We'll give you a recap of that as well. We'll also touch on the Memorial. Great tournament. Needed not 1 but 2 playoff holes to decide your champion. As the course started fighting back a little bit, weather impacted that over the weekend. They had many golfers had to finish off 12 to 13 holes on Sunday of round 3, then play all of round 4, and then the 2 guys that made the playoff had to play 2 extra holes. It was a long day at the office there in Dublin, Ohio for a few of those guys. So we'll get to that as well. We also have our poll question of the day. We are broadcasting live from the Beal & Hebert studios here in Upper Lafayette. Beal & Hebert, Acadiana's hometown lawyers. But before we dive into today's specials, how did it go in Mobile this past weekend? You didn't mention it in the group chat, so I hate to put you on the spot here, but you just, bypassed the Yogurt U tournament in Mobile. You didn't give us an update. How did it go?
Yeah, I didn't feel like it was necessary to update there.
Okay.
There was 85 people at that one.
Okay. A little bit smaller.
Yeah, good bit smaller. Finished 33rd.
That's in the top half. That's in the top half, bud. Yeah, look, see, he discourages himself. He's all upset because he's not top 10 or top 20. It's only your second tournament of the year, though, right? So
yeah, for like a quote unquote big tournament.
Yeah, big tournament. I'm not talking about you and your buddies hanging out at the card shop here in Lafayette. No. I'm talking about big, legitimate tournament that you have to register for and do the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So the first tournament, you were in the top third.
Yeah.
Yes, and this one you're in the top half.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the first 2 tournaments you've done all year, and it's June the 8th.
Yes.
You're just building, bud. You got to learn how to crawl before you walk, my friend.
There's context to it, though. So I finished 4-3, which doesn't sound bad. It's above 500.
Yeah, it is.
The issue with it is I heavily misplayed and played terribly in rounds 4 and 5, which put me at 2 and 3 and like completely took me out because you need to be in top 8 to earn your invite.
Okay.
So really, once I lost that second round, once I got my second loss, that pretty much doomed me from there.
Yeah, but you didn't give up.
But then I lost. Then I had my third loss, and in the second and third loss, I just heavily misplayed, played like an absolute donkey. And then in the last 2 rounds, I just still showed it because I was like, well, there's nothing better to do. I mean, it's out, we're in the middle of nowhere in Alabama, or like in the middle of nowhere for Mobile, because I was like, there's a little Chinese restaurant right next to it, but I didn't see anything else on the way there. And then the last 2 rounds, my opponents didn't even show up. So I technically got wins, but I didn't even play. so that's what I'm saying is like, I play terribly, and then I didn't even get a chance to redeem myself because my opponents didn't even show up. So I was like, okay, cool. I guess I'm 4-3.
Well, technically, you are 4-3. You are what your record says you are. That's what Bill Parcells used to say.
That's such a fake quote.
But a win is a win. Maybe they were scared. Maybe they knew that they were going to get the double barrels from James Meche, and they're like, I'm not dealing with that guy from Louisiana. I'm just not going to show up. I'm just going to go to the Chinese restaurant next door instead.
I didn't even go to the Chinese restaurant.
I'm saying your competition did.
Oh, probably. It wouldn't surprise me.
There we go.
I don't know.
There we go. So not a great weekend, but you can learn from it, right? You're already processing how you attacked things and that you did so in the wrong manner and that you didn't play well. So now you're going to work on playing better.
Yeah, I definitely need to continue to make progress for sure.
Hey, buddy, Tom Brady was benched multiple times. You know, they liked old Drew. Not Drew. Who's the guy that was the baseball player that played for the Yankees that kept Tom Brady on the bench all those years? What was his name? He didn't work out in the NFL or Major League Baseball. Dang it, what was his name?
Oh, I don't know.
At Michigan. You know, Tom wasn't the guy, man. It took him a while. We know how much you love Brady.
Yeah. I do love me some Brady.
I'm just saying. And then every team passed on him multiple times for multiple rounds. Right? And then he worked his way. And he went from being a system quarterback to being one of the greatest of all time.
How about... I'm just going to throw names out there. It wasn't Brian Greasy, huh?
No.
Drew Henson?
Drew Henson.
Was it Drew Henson?
Drew Henson. I think he played for the Yankees or was supposed to play for the Yankees.
Because another one was John Navarre.
No, it wasn't him.
Okay.
I think it's Drew Nelson.
Drew Henson, you mean?
Drew Henson. Yeah, let's
yeah, American baseball and football player. He was a third baseman.
Yeah, and he's the guy that kept Tom Brady on the bench.
He was a pinch runner as well.
Yeah, he kept Brady on the bench, bud. So there you go. Come on now.
Drafted by the Yankees in the 3rd round. He played a whole 2 years.
Yeah, they thought he was going to be good. He wasn't.
He played in. Within those 2 years, you want to know how many games he played? 8.
Yeah. No, he was not. He did not work out. So there you go, bud. You just got to live and learn. You take your losses. You learn from your losses. Most coaches will tell you learn more from defeats than you do from victories.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's not get discouraged.
I knew when I was in the middle of the game, I was like, nope, that was the wrong.
You're
move.
like, oh, dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't really take them back. You're like, I want to take it back so bad, but I know I can't.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Kind of like Wemby passing the ball to his teammate when his teammate wasn't looking at him.
Yeah, and it can spiral out of control
there it is.
quickly.
There it is. Oh, there you go. Let's not be discouraged, James Meche. And let's get right to it, huh? How about today's specials?
The fellas can't help with your lunch plans, but they can serve up the top stories of the day in bite-sized pieces. Time to order up today's specials here on RP3 and Meche, presented by Southwest Volkswagen, located at 6184 Johnston Street. Order up.
And speaking of mistakes,
Lay
the ball game.
Oh, mistakes and the scheduling. We get game 2 on Friday. We have to wait till Monday for game 3. Really?
I'm fine with that.
I hate that.
I'm fine with that.
I hate that. That's so stupid.
Instead of us having to recap 2 games in one, now we recap and then preview for the next one.
My wife's like, "Oh, is game 3 tonight? Can we watch it?" Because my wife likes basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "No, it's not. It's not. You would think we could watch game 3 on a Sunday night when nothing else is going on. But nah, they're like, man, can't go up against the Tony Awards. We got to be on Monday night.
The
Okay.
Tone Awards.
All right. The Spurs are cooked. Let's just be real here.
Mm-hmm.
They're cooked.
I mean, we all pretty much believe that the Knicks were going to win this series.
Correct.
And then it felt like it was a must-win game for the Spurs because you can't go down 0-2 and then have to head over towards the Madison Square Garden. And with
$40,000 tickets, by the way.
Yeah, I mean it costs a fortune. Jordy this morning was like, James, would you want to go with me to go watch the game tonight? The nosebleed tickets, I think he said, were like $9,000 a piece, and I'm like, Jordy, I can't really do that right now.
I appreciate you for thinking about me, though, Jordy.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Thank you, Bomber.
Yeah, but no, looking back at Friday night's game, it definitely felt like it was a must-win game for the Spurs to try and make sure that this was going to be a competitive series. And it really felt like that was going to happen. Like, they played well once again. They were down, but then they came back, and it came down to the final moments, and you thought, okay, the Knicks were starting to miss a couple of free throws, and Jalen Brunson definitely did not have his best game. He shot even worse than he did in game 1. And then Wemby gets the rebound, and this will definitely take a big part of our segment here, talking about the final couple of segments.
Oh.
But Wemby gets the board, takes it down the left sideline, and didn't have to do this at all. Unforceably,
He could have just dribbled because
decided to pass it to Castle.
Because Brunson was picking up Castle, and he was just going to defend him the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Wemby could have just dribbled the ball up the court.
Yeah. He did not need to.
And when you watch it in slow motion, I know it's a bang-bang play, and he's a youngish player. But when Wemby starts to throw the ball to pass the ball, Castle's head's already turned around. Like, they've done the slow-mo angle from behind. And I was like, because bang-bang, I was like, oh, man, Castle, I was like, oh, him and Wemby didn't communicate. And then when you do the slow-mo version of it, like it's the JFK assassination video, you break it down, you go, his head was already turned around by the time Wemby started passing him the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, Wemby turned around and started looking up the floor, and by that point, Castle was already making his turnaround, trying to get to half court. And then Wemby gets beyond the three-point line and just passes it.
It was, and look, he took full accountability for it afterwards. And we said this prior to the finals. The Knicks, their approach, would they be okay if Wemby got his? And we said roughly like 25 in like 10 or 12, right? Double-double for Wemby. And what did Wemby have on Friday night?
He had
29 points, 9 rebounds, 2 steals, 4 blocks. Also had 4 turnovers, which he tends to do. So he was close to a double-double. And the Spurs got good contribution. How about De'Aaron Fox? Found a shot, especially in the second half.
He played inspired.
He gave them 20. They got Vassell gives them 14. Castle gave them 14. And they got 15 off the bench from Harper, who should be playing more, but I digress.
Which they finally did more of that. They found a way to have the combination get out there.
But, and once again, as a team, they had 16 turnovers. The Spurs did. Like, that's a huge number for an NBA Finals game. And let's give credit because it's going to be remembered for Wemby hitting his own teammate in the back with the ball to lose the game. But I want to give credit to the Knicks here because they flipped it in that second quarter, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, because it was looking like this could be a runaway by San Antonio, and I even had to get away from the TV a little bit, and then I come back, and all of a sudden I look at halftime, and I'm like, whoa. They, pretty much the whole second quarter, San Antonio got outscored by, I think, 15. It was like 30 to 15 was the run for the final 11:30 of that second quarter.
Unbelievable run. And we kept talking about this beforehand. Who's the better team? Who has better players overall?
It was New York.
In New York. And OG, he is out there for his defense.
Mm-hmm.
He gave him 17 points.
He still finds a way to get you double-digit scoring.
Karl Anthony Towns is playing the most efficient basketball of his career. For me, if I had to vote right now today, the NBA Finals MVP is Cat.
I'm giving it to Cat. Absolutely.
Because he's playing good defense, and he's wildly efficient. He was 8 of 12 from the field, gave him 21 points, had 13 rebounds, 4 assists. 10 of his rebounds were defensive rebounds. I thought he played extremely well. You got nothing from Josh Hart because of the foul trouble. And they had a lot of foul calls go against the Knicks in this game. They did. But they got Mikal Bridges giving them 20. 8 of 13 shooting. Brunson was not good in this game until it mattered. Like, that's the thing about him when you watch him play in these playoffs. He starts off so bad, he misses all those shots, and then when it matters the most, particularly in the second half, who makes his shots? It's Brunson. Always. Like, he still ended up with 20 points. He was 7 of 25. That's not good. Not good from the field. But he made his shots when it mattered. He also had 5 rebounds and 6 assists, right? 5 steals. And they get 13 from Shamet off the bench. Mitchell Robinson gave him 7. Like that, Jose played some minutes. They only played 4 guys off the bench. And now they're up 2 games to none. Do I think San Antonio can win a game in New York? Yes. But
home court advantage is not like that effective, especially nowadays.
But teams to come back down 0-2 in the NBA Finals. There's only been 5 of them, by the way. There's only been 5.
Mm-hmm.
The 69 Celtics, team that you remember well. You talk about them all the time.
Oh, yeah. I was there for it.
77 Trailblazers.
Mm-hmm.
The 2006 Miami Heat. Right? That's the D-Wade Shaq team.
Yep.
The 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers. That's LeBron. That's the great series where he had the block of Iggy.
Mm-hmm.
And the 21 Milwaukee Bucks.
Over the Suns.
Over the Suns, right? So, but going against them is history here. History isn't on the Spurs side when trailing 0-2 in the playoffs. In their history. They lost the 1990 Western Conference semifinals 4-3 after trailing 0-2 the Trailblazers. They lost in 93 to the Suns. That would have been the Barkley, Thunder, Dan Marley, Kevin Johnson Suns team. They lost 4-2. 95 Western Conference Finals. They went down 0-2. They lost to the Rockets. That's the Akeem Olajuwon Rockets team. And then they lost in the Western Conference Finals to Golden State. They lost 4-0 in 2017. That's your James Harden team. I just don't see a scenario where they're going to do this. I just don't. Do I think they can win a game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just think New York is a better team. They have better players overall. The Spurs feel like they're a year away a little bit, right? Where they feel like this is the part where they're going to figure things out. And if you're going to give me Karl-Anthony Towns efficiency, like what we saw in the first 2 games, what we've seen all postseason, but in particular the first 2 games of this NBA Finals, you're still going to get 20 points from Bridges and Brunson, and you're going to have OG out there giving you 15 plus. I have a hard time believing that they're going to lose multiple games in New York inside MSG. I just do. The only thing that you can count on, I know we're up against a break, the only thing that you can count on, possibly gamble on if you're the Spurs, is that because the Garden is going to be absolutely bananas with the celebrities, the President of the United States is going to be there tonight. That's why they're eliminating watch parties around the Garden because of extra security measures. It is going to be insane, in particularly tonight, with tickets going for $40,000, with the president being there, with all the celebrities. New York's waited for this for decades. There's a lot of pressure that comes with that, right? Is this team mentally tough enough to deal with that pressure? I say yes, but that's your only wild card for me, is the pressure of trying to close this out and sweep this in front of the home fans inside the mecca of professional basketball, MSG. That's the only wild card for me to see if the Spurs could win a game, James. That's it.
Yeah, and I mean, you can throw out the idea that the Spurs had chances to win at home in both games, especially in game 2 when Wemby had the and 1 to give them the lead late with under a minute to go, 2 possessions before the turnover. And then even, I guess, had a chance with that last shot where he took the long 2 with Mitchell Robinson on him. But, I mean, you can make that the case for a lot of teams. And not only that, but the better teams always find ways to win in those clutch moments. And we just haven't seen that yet from the Spurs. And it feels like kind of they exude a lot of emotional energy in that Thunder series.
I agree. And look, they've played well for good sections of this NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They lost the first game by 10, but it was closer than that, and they lost the game 2 by 1. So
they're right there.
They're right there. I just think the veteran leadership of the Knicks is playing a role here. We got to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll unveil our poll question of the day. That's next.
Today's specials here on RP3 and Meche, presented by Southwest Volkswagen, located at 6184 Johnston Street.
Southwest Volkswagen, it's where car buying is made easy. Upfront everyday pricing and transparency from start to finish. Massive inventory of both new and used cars. And when I'm saying used cars, I mean World Auto certified pre-owned cars and SUVs. Southwest Volkswagen has the great selection that you and your family have been looking for. They're proud to be Acadiana's only Volkswagen dealership, and they're just a short drive from Lake Charles as well. Just hop on I-10, make your way over. You will not regret it. Once again, buying your next car feels simple at Southwest Volkswagen right here in Lafayette. Go visit them today at 6184 Johnston Street right here in Lafayette.
Hello, everyone. This is Jeff Palermo. Join us on Tuesday nights for Tiger Rag Radio. Myself, Todd Horn, and Glenn Gilbo give you the latest happenings in Tiger Town and across the SEC. We talk to coaches, analysts, and those in the know when it comes to the Tigers and the Southeastern Conference. We cover all the sports: football, baseball, basketball, softball, and gymnastics. That's Tuesday nights right here on ESPN 103.7 in Lafayette and 104.1 in Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Looking for your next firearm? Come visit Louisiana Gun Shop in Broussard. We've got financing options, 12 months same as cash, plus layaways up to 90 days. With a wide selection of new and used guns, we've got something for every budget, big or small. Have an old gun collecting dust? Trade it in or turn it into cash. Need parts? We've got the largest selection of AR-15 components in the area, from springs to grips and buttstocks. Explore our ever-changing used inventory online at louisianagunshop.com. Louisiana Gun Shop, your one-stop shop for firearms and more.
Everybody's talking about the big, beautiful bill, and it's game-changing for taxpayers. Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. We've read the bill, and if you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and get it resolved. This new legislation could give you a chance to get things straight with the IRS. Whether it's getting caught up on unfiled returns or negotiating IRS debts, there are a lot of new deductions and opportunities in the big, beautiful bill, and the Bryson Law Firm knows how to use them strategically. We've been staying on top of the tax changes in the big, beautiful bill, and we're ready to help our clients take full advantage. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Bryson Law Firm. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit brysonlawfirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Bryson Law Firm. LSP filing number LA2519079.
At Waterboys Water Well Services, we're more than just a quick fix. A handshake means more to us than a contract. From water treatment that protects your home and health to expert well drilling, pump installation, and maintenance, we've got your water covered. Cleaner, safer, better tasting water starts with trust and ends with Waterboys. Proudly serving Louisiana families with integrity and experience. Waterboys, high quality H2O products, 337-678-9955.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices. To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
Just let your soul glow. Just let it shine through.
One is known far and wide for his luscious head of hair.
We just wash the hair. You know, I work on my hair a long time.
The other wishes he still had his. Back to more RP3 and Meche.
And of course, speaking about those Spurs and the Knicks, Game 3 of the NBA Finals tonight over there in Madison Square Garden in New York. Do you think that the Spurs can win tonight's Game 3 and at least make this somewhat of a series? That's our poll question of the day. That's what we asked you on Facebook and on X. And let me tell you, Ray, vast majority of the votes going so far are saying no, they won't get it done. It's going to be Knicks taking a commanding 3-0 lead going into Game 4.
Look, it'd be great if this was a competitive NBA Finals. Just as a fan of basketball, a fan of sports, you know, we love when things go 6 games, 7 games, right? Because there's drama involved. It keeps us glued to our televisions and to our radios. So from that perspective, I would love to see this go further. I just don't believe it will. I picked Knicks in 6. After Game 1, I was like, I should have picked Knicks in 5.
Yeah, and I thought about picking, because my thought as well was I wanted to say Knicks in 6, but when you said, I was like, okay, well, let me give a little variety here. And I thought about Knicks in 5, but I was like, that feels maybe a little too far in the Knicks direction. So I was like, let me just say Knicks in 7. But no, it definitely felt it felt going even into the series that New York was a better team than San Antonio was, and I thought that the high emotions and the roller coaster of just finishing a Game 7 beating the rival Thunder, you could tell it meant a lot to them. So trying to recover from something like that, especially when you have to go against what feels like a team of destiny in the Knicks, just feels like an impossible task.
Feels that way. It does feel that way. So I just don't see. I still think they can win a game.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
I feel like they can, but to say that they will just feels like a lot.
It does feel like a lot. It just does. We got to take a time out. Keep those votes going on our poll question of the day. Come back. We'll recap Super Regional Weekend for you for the NCAAs, and we'll talk about the news that came out this morning. You could say it's the death rattle of the NCAA, or just another example of Texas Tech doing everything they can there in Lubbock, Texas, to become the most hated villains in collegiate sports. It's funny how that happens when money gets funneled to a program. We'll talk about that next.
This is RP3 and Meche live on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Here at ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana Sports Station, we know you can't get enough sports in your life, so go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, ESPN Southwest Louisiana, and turn that bell on to get notifications when we post our new content, like our podcasts such as 4 Tire Change and Cleats and Sneaks, original shorts like the LAB award-winning Foots Friday Fury, and now we stream all of our local shows, including right now, on our YouTube channel. So go and subscribe to ESPN Southwest Louisiana's channel.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The Houston Astros took 2 out of 3 from the Athletics at home this past weekend, including a 13-2 win on Saturday to improve their record to 30-37. Next up is a road series against the Angels. Game 1 is tonight, and first pitch from Angel Stadium is scheduled for 8:38, and you can listen to the action on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. In the NBA playoffs, the New York Knicks took a 2-0 lead in the finals with a 105-104 win over the San Antonio Spurs. Now, the series moves to New York, with Game 3 being tonight. Tip-off from Madison Square Garden is set for 7:30. LSU's Michaela Williams and Mylasia Fuwiley helped Team USA win gold in the 2026 FIBA 3v3 Half-Court Women's Basketball World Cup. Williams also took home MVP in the tournament. LSU football also landed a 5-star edge rusher in KJ Green, who is the number 8 overall player in the 2027 class. Super Regional Weekend will continue tonight. West Virginia, Troy, UNC, Ole Miss, Texas, and Georgia all moved on this weekend. We're still awaiting a winner in the Lawrence and Tuscaloosa Super Regional. And on the PGA Tour, JT Paulson got past Ryan Gerard in a playoff to win the Memorial Tournament in Dublin, Ohio. I'm James Meche, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana Sports Station, your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foots Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Row coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
Did you know you can get great tasting Clear Springs artesian water delivered to your office or your doorstep at home? Clear Springs is 100% local with their own bottling facility at the world-famous Kentwood Aquifer, no chemicals added. Just pure Kentwood, Louisiana artesian water. Clear Springs Water offers delivery of 5 or 3 gallon water service with a hot and cold temperature water cooler or even single-serve bottles delivered to your home or office. Easy to reach, clearsprings.net, then contact us tab or 337-519-3563.
Tax season doesn't have to be stressful. Not with Black & Gold Tax Service in your corner. Conveniently located on Main Street in Broussard, we offer in-office appointments and virtual consultations. You can upload your documents to our secured portal, and we offer secure digital drop-offs. Members of the Better Business Bureau, we proudly serve South Louisiana and all 50 states with integrity, expertise, and personalized care. Visit blackandgoldtax.com and let Black & Gold Tax Service make taxes easy. Black & Gold Tax Service, where accuracy meets Acadiana pride.
Whether it's a tempting text message or a quick glance at your GPS, taking your eyes off the road for just a moment can have serious consequences. This includes turning around or reaching down. Distracted driving includes eating or putting on makeup. Distracted driving is anything that diverts your attention from driving. I'm Lorraine Luquette Vinoy with Service Chevrolet Cadillac, encouraging you to drive smart, drive safe, and keep those eyes on the road, Acadiana. This message is powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac and this radio station, where safety meets style on the road.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game, so I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in Louisiana at highschoolofficials.com.
Every weeknight, MeTV has your laugh therapy.
To chase away the blues or the olive drabs.
With 2 hours of MASH at 5.
This guy's ankle has tickled my funny bone.
Followed by the Andy Griffith Show at 7.
Doggone it, Otis. He's supposed to be hugging me when I'm arresting you.
But he likes you, Bart.
Weeknights on MeTV.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
You know the routine. Eat, sleep, sports talk, repeat.
Well, up and at 'em. We're here.
Here is more daily sports talk from ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles.
All right, let's go ahead and get the nonsense out of the way. Texas Tech star quarterback, who was the most coveted quarterback in the NCAA transfer portal, LSU tried to go get him. And, well, we said thankfully they didn't. They ended up getting Sam Leavitt out of Arizona State instead. But the former Indiana turned Cincinnati turned Texas Tech quarterback was ruled that he was not going to be able to play this year by the NCAA. Well, we live in a time and a place now where if you're funneling enough money to your athletic department, you just keep fighting and fighting until you find a judge that agrees with you, because that's what we do now in collegiate athletics. And that's exactly what's happened. Texas Tech star Brendan Sursby has been granted a temporary injunction against the NCAA that could clear the way for him to play for the Red Raiders in 2026, even after the transfer quarterback was declared ineligible for wagering on college sports. A Texas judge, stunned, granted Sorsby a preliminary injunction Monday that prevents the NCAA from punishing him for violating its rules on sports gambling. Judge Ken Curry ruled that Sorsby's attorneys demonstrated he will suffer, quote, a probable, imminent, and irreparable injury if he's unable to play for the Red Raiders in 2026, and enjoined the NCAA for prohibiting Sorsby from practicing or playing this fall. I guess we just live in a time where we make rules and we say we don't like these rules. I'm going to break these rules. And as long as I have enough money to lawyer up, I can do whatever I want. Oh, he has a gambling addiction. That's been the narrative that's been tossed out to us. Maybe he does. Great. Doesn't mean that he should be allowed to play. Like, I get the NCAA has no teeth, and this is why they're trying to appeal to Congress to be their enforcer, because every time they do a ruling, someone goes and finds a judge that gets in their courtroom, and the judge rules in their favor. Like, this is what happens. Sorsby will miss Texas Tech's first 2 games, which was penalty that had been proposed by his attorneys. Oh, goodness. That's what a sacrifice, isn't it? I'm sure
he's not allowed to play the cupcake games.
I'm sure all that NIL money that he got paid to come to Texas Tech, I'm sure that's going to soften the blow of not having to play against 2 cupcakes early in the season. Sorsby was ruled ineligible by the NCAA after it discovered he had wagered approximately $90,000 on professional college sports over 4 years, including 40 bets involving Indiana football when he was an actual freshman on the football team there with the Hoosiers in 2022. The NCAA had denied Texas Tech's appeal for reinstatement on Friday. They found themselves a judge, and guess what? Monday morning, all clear. Ready to go.
It's fine.
It is unbelievable. Now, the NCAA is expected to appeal the ruling, but good luck. Like, it's just not going to matter.
It just feels like it's inevitable. Would you like to know the 2 games that his attorney proposed that he should miss?
The first one is going to be against Abilene Christian.
Yes.
Out of the Southland.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a good start.
That's a good start. What's the second game that Sorsby's going to miss?
It'll be a road game.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah, spicy. It'll be on CBS, too.
Oh, ooh.
Oregon State, the Beavers.
That are in the watered-down Pac-12. Outstanding.
What's left of it?
Absolutely standing. It is phenomenal by all
accounts.
Just all accounts. Like, we just live in a society now where it just doesn't matter. There's no repercussions for poor behavior. As long as you have enough money, there's no repercussions for poor behavior. Maybe it's always been that way. And maybe we're just now seeing this as much as we are because
there's more access to all of this.
Because of how college athletics has changed and everything like that with NIL and the transfer portal and all the money. But keep on keeping on, Texas Tech. You keep on being the wear those black hats. You know, you're trying to buy the championships that you can buy. And, you know, I'm not going to say what I really want to say here. I'll probably save that for a column. I wasn't going to write one this week. I was going to take it easy. But the Sorsby thing and Texas Tech has just pissed me off to the point that I feel
it's
like
got you inspired.
I feel like I need to put some pen to paper, so to speak. Just an absolute clown show.
I'll be excited to read
it. Just an absolute clown show. Like, what are we doing here? Like, the cat actually admitted to betting on games for his own team that he was a member of. And there's no punishment here? Because if you punish him and you don't let him play this year, then that could hurt his finance. Yeah, it's called repercussions for bad behavior. It's not like this guy's going to prison here. He's not on a chain gang. Like, what are we doing here?
He's not getting the death penalty.
Oh, these judges. So soft. So soft.
He's just not allowed to play a, fifth year?
He could have entered the supplemental draft and got into the NFL. He could have played and made a living playing in the CFL or the UFL or the Arena League or whatever it might be. He could have gone and sold cars. It's not as if his ability to make a living was gone. That's my problem here. We're making it out like this is a great atrocity for this kid. You bet over $90,000. You violated rules. It's very simple.
And you knew you were breaking these rules. It's not like he didn't know.
Correct.
You're telling me that he didn't know that he couldn't bet on not only sports in general as an athlete, not only in the same sport he plays, but also the team that he played for, the team that he suited up for and wore the jersey for. You're telling me he didn't know he couldn't do that and then admitted, yeah, I did it, and then you're like, nah, it's fine. Just go play out there. You were a kid. You didn't know. You didn't know no better.
Oh, it's
you
okay.
You didn't know no better.
You didn't know no better. Poor baby.
Like I said, he's going into his 5th year, and I've said this before. Unless you had a big-time injury that basically took out your whole year in general, or just maybe some crazy thing that popped up to give you a 5th year, on 90% of cases, I feel like you should only play 4 years of college anyway. Or be in college for 4 years.
It is unreal.
At most 5.
It is unreal. It's just no shred of integrity, nothing. And this just further solidifies Texas Tech as your villains in college athletics. Like, they wear the black hat. This is what they've done. They've made a decision. Their billionaire from the fracking industry has decided to funnel millions upon millions of dollars into athletics to make Lubbock, Texas relevant in all sports. I get it. I can appreciate the passion. I can respect the passion. I really can. But doing it the way that they're doing it, I don't respect. And never once thinking, hey, maybe doing things the wrong way. But when you're greedy and you want nothing but championships, and that's the only thing that you care about is winning a championship. He's helped bankroll the Texas Tech football team that made it to the playoff last year. He's bankrolled the softball program that's made it back-to-back national championship series. They go and poach kids out of the portal. They pay enormous prices that no one else can pay for. They went out and they got Sorsby. They won the bidding war for Sorsby. And I want to say something about the judge in Texas Tech, but I'm not going to.
Save it for the column.
I'll save it for the column. I'll save it for the written word. But this reeks. This stinks. It smells like wet garbage that's been sitting out in the hot summer southwest Louisiana sun for 4 days. This is something that should make everyone vomit a little bit in their mouth. And I don't want to hear about apathy. I don't want to hear how about, well, this is just the times we live in now, Ray. Yeah, we're all about doing the apathy thing and just constantly moving the goalpost around to go ahead and rationalize the fact that we've decided to get further and further away from, morals and doing things the right way.
I was going to say, yeah, this may be the times that we live in, but the times we live in suck.
There we go. Absolutely.
Like both things can be true.
Absolutely suckage. We're going to take an early break here. We talked about Sorsby. Come back. We'll recap Super Regionals. We still have one of them that has to be decided today because of bad weather yesterday, but we'll get you the most up-to-date here on Super Regionals and who's punched their ticket to Omaha. That's next.
This is RP3 and Meche live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Delta Media Corps is hiring immediately for a media account executive, and this could be the career change that you've been looking for. Our fast-paced radio, television, and digital media company is looking for a confident people person who enjoys building relationships with local businesses and helping them grow. This is perfect for someone looking for a midlife career change, a fresh start, or just a new challenge with unlimited, and I mean unlimited, earning potential. Sales experience is preferred but not required. We will teach, train, and support the right person. What matters most is confidence, communication skills, personality, and the ability to connect with people. If you're ready to leave that boring job behind and start an exciting new career, we'd love to talk with you today. Email John at Cochran at deltamediacorp.com. That's JCOCHRAN at Delta Media Corp, which is CORP.com. Let's start your new career today. Delta Media is an equal opportunity employer.
ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is your home for the Houston Astros.
And the Astros stun the Mariners.
Hunter Brown, Yordan Alvarez, and the rest of the Astros are looking to get back to the postseason. You can listen to every pitch, hit, and thrilling victory of the Houston Astros.
Incredible!
As Robert Ford and Steve Sparks will be on the call. Tune in this season for live Astros baseball on Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Need peace of mind with your estate planning? Turn to Beal & Aber, your trusted hometown lawyers. At Beal & Aber, we make estate planning simple and stress-free, ensuring your legacy is secure and your future is in the right hands. Don't wait. Schedule your consultation today at BealAbear.com. That's BealAbear.com. Safeguarding your tomorrow today.
Attention first responders, police officers, firefighters, military and former military personnel. If you have an acre or more of grass to cut, Skag Zero-Turn Mowers would like to thank you by offering you a special discount with their Simply the Brave First Responders program. Save big money on the industry's top-rated zero-turn mower at Nolan's Lawnmower in Carencro. Nolan's can offer well-qualified buyers 0% financing for 48 months. Come by Nolan's Lawnmower at 3547 Northwest Evangeline Thruway and check out the full line of Skag zero-turn lawnmowers.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first day at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
MeTV is America's #1 classic entertainment television network. And here's one of the reasons everybody loves MeTV.
Oh, it's a classic.
The great comedy lineup on weeknights.
This will be fun. Come on.
With Meche.
Loaded with snappy comebacks.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I was just funning with Barney.
And Everybody Loves Raymond.
Now we got a show.
Watch Meet TV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on Channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
The United States Deputy Sheriff's Association is a national nonprofit and the largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. The USDSA assists city, county, state, and federal agencies with free safety equipment donations and officer survival training, along with cash donations to families of law enforcement officers who perish in the line of duty, a citizen awareness program, and more. For more information on United States Deputy Sheriff's Association, please visit usdeputy.org.
You're listening to the 2026 LAB Award winner for Best Live On-Site Remote Super Bowl Radio Row coverage and Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative. Here on 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Omaha is nearly set. Charles Schwab Field has the majority of the teams now in place after Super Regional Weekend. Almost. What we do know, no matter the outcome of the final game today, Omaha will see 23 different teams across the 2024, 2025, and 2026 Men's College World Series. That's amazing. It's absolutely phenomenal, the amount of parity in college baseball. Now, we look ahead to what we have here. Let's start in the all-SEC matchups that we had over the weekend. Georgia needed 10 innings on Sunday to get the job done, but they defeat Mississippi State 11-9 to take Game 2. It was a home run fest in both of those games. I think they combined for over 25 home runs in the two games.
It was either 24 or 25.
24 or 25 home runs. Look, Foley Field is like a wiffle ball park. It's pretty easy to hit home runs there. I'll be interesting to see if Georgia, who once again was your regular season champ in the SEC and your SEC tournament champ, if they can take that home run power that they display at home and transfer it to Omaha. Most teams can't because the way the ballpark is built and the way the winds blow there is sometimes changing directions during the day. So Georgia punches its ticket on Sunday with an extra inning victory over Mississippi State, eliminating the Bulldogs in the Battle of the Dogs. Also punching their ticket was Alabama. They had some weather issues over there in Tuscaloosa, but they take care of St. John's. The Johnnies, they beat them 7-2 in Game 2 of the Tuscaloosa Super Regional. They win that series. They punch their ticket to Omaha. Texas, after kind of roughing up Oregon a little bit in Game 1, Game 2 was far more competitive. Longhorns, though, still come out on top. They defeat the Ducks 6-5. They win that series 2-0. They punch their ticket to Omaha. So that right there gives you 3 teams from the SEC already in the field, and we're not done. In addition, it appears that Oklahoma is on the verge of punching their ticket. I'll get to that here shortly. In non-SEC action, North Carolina had its hands full, needed all 3 games to beat the USC Trojans. We talked about that being possibly a host that could lose, and USC gave them everything they could handle. Needed 3 games. North Carolina edges them in the third winner-take-all game there. The Chapel Hill Super Regional yesterday wins that 4-3. The Tar Heels punch their ticket to Omaha yet again. And they'll be joined by a couple of other teams that wrapped up things back on Saturday. West Virginia absolutely destroyed poor Cal Poly.
Oh, it wasn't close.
17-1 17 runs on 19 hits.
And that comes after a 12-2 win on Friday.
On Friday. They followed that up with a 17-1 win. Take Me Home, Country Roads. They're going to be singing the heck out of that. If anyone's going to give a run to the SEC schools that hold the record for the most shots at Rocco's, which LSU holds the first place and the second place, which they established in 23 and then last year in 25, it would be those Mountaineers. Like, if you gave me a guess of which fan base is going to go to Omaha and try to take down the drink record at Rocco's, West Virginia would be my betting favorite, even though I don't think they're going to come close. Troy, out of the Sun Belt, they reached the College World Series for the first time in program history. They take care of Little Rock, winning 2-0. They win 7-2 on Saturday to punch their ticket. So West Virginia out of the Big 12. Troy out of the Sun Belt, they're in the field as well. North Carolina out of the ACC, they make it as well. And Ole Miss is already there as well. As, once again, we talked about Auburn having the best pitching staff in the country, but could they find a way to punch through? And, they were on upset watch. They got roughed up early in their own regional. They found a way to take down Milwaukee. Ole Miss, who's been playing their best baseball of late, went into the Plains and said, we don't care. We don't care that you're hosting a super regional. You're going to get eliminated yet again early on in the process because you don't know how to win when it matters the most. And we're going to come into your place, led by former LSU catcher and former Skip Bertman assistant coach, Mike Bianco, who's already led Ole Miss to a national championship, has already won over 1,000 games. Also, former McNeese head baseball coach before he took the Ole Miss job back in the day, by the way. He was also an assistant at Northwestern State. Lots of Louisiana ties there. Oh, and one of their star players is Eddie Furness's kid, who Eddie Furness was the longtime all-time hits leader at LSU. Ole Miss wins on Saturday 5-3, and they are done. They eliminate Auburn, and they have punched their ticket. Now, so that means you have Alabama, Texas, Ole Miss, Georgia already in, 4 teams from the SEC. You got North Carolina out of the ACC, Troy out of the Sun Belt, West Virginia out of the Big 12. So 7 or 8 are now set. What's happening, though, is that we're waiting on a suspended game to pick back up. Oklahoma took game 1 of the Lawrence Super Regional against Kansas. They lead game 2 8-1. But weather has wreaked havoc on this. So you're waiting for that game to be resumed, which will be resumed starting at 12 o'clock here in less than 5 minutes from now. If Kansas can find a way to rally and win that game, game 3 would be played this evening. Tonight or later on this afternoon, they would immediately play that game to determine who the 8th team is going to be, and that'll figure out if the 8th team is going to be another SEC squad. So, Hoover is nearly set. It will be after today. Hour 1 is now in the books. Hour number 2, we'll kick things off with David Grubb talking NBA Finals and the Pels. That's next.
Lafayette Stars and Stripes is back and bigger than ever as America celebrates its 250th anniversary. Join us Friday, July 4th at Park International in downtown Lafayette for a night of patriotic fun. Gates open at 5 p.m. with live music by Sold Out and Rusty Matwire and the Zydeco Crush, along with delicious food trucks, family activities, local vendors, and plenty of surprises. Then, look to the sky for a spectacular fireworks finale at 9:30 p.m. Free admission presented by Lafayette Utility System, LFT Fiber, and Delta Media.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Attention, this is a public notice from Citizens Disability. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right if you suffer from physical and mental disability. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, Citizens Disability can help. You'll be given an advocate who will evaluate your situation, handle your application, and deal with Social Security. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. We only get paid if you win your case. There are a number of conditions that can make you eligible for disability benefits, many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call Citizens Disability today to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation. 800-431-9667. 800-431-9667. 800-431-9667. That's 800-431-9667.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Carencro Lafayette, KLCJ-FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta Media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The Houston Astros took 2 out of 3 from the Athletics at home this past weekend, including a 13-2 win on Saturday to improve their record to 30-37. Next up is a road series against the Angels. Game 1 is tonight, and first pitch from Angel Stadium is scheduled for 8:38, and you can listen to the action on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. In the NBA playoffs, the New York Knicks took a 2-0 lead in the finals with a 105-104 win over the San Antonio Spurs. Now, the series moves to New York with Game 3 being tonight. Tip-off from Madison Square Garden is set for 7:30. LSU's Michaela Williams and Mylasia Fuwiley helped Team USA win gold in the 2026 FIBA 3x3 Half-Court Women's Basketball World Cup. Williams also took home MVP in the tournament. LSU football also landed a 5-star edge rusher in KJ Green, who is the number 8 overall player in the 2027 class. Super Regional Weekend will continue tonight. West Virginia, Troy, UNC, Ole Miss, Texas, and Georgia all moved on this weekend. We're still awaiting a winner in the Lawrence and Tuscaloosa Super Regional. And on the PGA Tour, JT Paulson got past Ryan Gerard in a playoff to win the Memorial Tournament in Dublin, Ohio. I'm James Meche, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana Sports Station, your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. Dynamic duos are nothing new to Louisiana sports fans. Breeze and Colston, Burrow and Chase. And here in Acadiana, we have our very own dynamic duo.
You're beautiful.
It's the big, bald, bearded, and beautiful one, Raymond Parch III.
I'm sexy and I know it.
And the man with the best head of hair in sports talk radio in Louisiana and Mississippi, James Meche. Here is RP3 and Meche on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Hour number 2 has arrived here on RP3 and Meche. I'm the big, bald, beautiful one, Raymond Parch III, better known as RP3, and I'm joined inside the Beal and Hebert studios by the producer extraordinaire, the LAB award winner, the man with the best trash stash in sports media in the states of Louisiana, Mississippi, James Meche. Hour 1 was a good one. We spent a lot of time talking about the NBA Finals. We talked about the Super Regionals, recapping that for you. We nearly have all the teams set for Omaha. Oh, and by the way, Texas Tech continuing embracing being the absolute villains. Stunned they found a judge to rule in the Sorsby case. We discussed that as well. Coming up half an hour from right now, we will talk with our buddy Brett Chansey of the Locked On Astros podcast. They got a series victory, a divisional series victory over the weekend, and they're getting some arms back as well. Help is on the way. So we'll see if the Stros can continue trying to turn things around. We'll hear from Trey Harris The former Como High star held his football camp over the weekend. We attended it, and we got to catch up with Trey. So we'll hear from him about what it meant to him coming back home to put on a football camp for the youth in the area. So that's all coming up. But we'll kick off things here on hour number 2 of RP3 and Meche, talking NBA Finals and the latest news and notes about the New Orleans Pelicans with the man from the Bird Rights, our old friend David Grubb joins us now. D, good day to you, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing? Glad to be back with you.
We are doing excellent. So before we dive into the finals, and we'll get your thoughts here on everything that's transpired through the first couple games, including how well Cat has played. He looks like he's playing the best basketball of his career. I want to start with the Pels. Lots and lots and lots of chatter about Joe D being aggressive this offseason, somehow getting picks, somehow trading for players. Lots of talk about Trey Murphy being on the move. Lots of talk about them going out and getting Jaylen Brown to come be in New Orleans. As someone who's connected to this team and this franchise, you also know Joe D for a while and how he operates. He was very aggressive early on in his tenure in Detroit, and it paid off. He got all those guys. Remember, Rip and Rashid and Ben? He traded for all those guys. Can you see him being able to pull something off like this, just honestly, with not having really a whole lot of assets to be able to wheel and deal with?
If you're asking, can he pull off a major move this offseason, I think he can pull off a major move this offseason. Do I trust Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver to make a major move that makes sense for the New Orleans Pelicans? Now we're talking into a much more nuanced conversation. And I think that's what this summer is about. Like, all of these things have so many layers and dominoes that go along with them. So it's hard to see a total makeover of this franchise in one offseason because there are just so many parts that you have to deal with. But I think absolutely, when you look at the track records of both Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver, something big is going to happen this offseason.
Do you think that means moving Trey Murphy?
I would say that's the most likely outcome right now. I think, in the conversation with people I've had, that certainly it feels like that's, like, I would say anywhere people feel like it's between a 7, on a scale of 10 to a 9 at this stage. The scenario kind of makes sense the more you think about it. Trey Murphy, it was not, like, clearly when David Griffin saw Trey Murphy as a potential centerpiece. He had a lot of value for Trey. There was conflict certainly between Trey and his handling with Willie Green at times. I don't think that they necessarily philosophically got along basketball-wise. And now there doesn't seem to be the same emphasis on Trey coming from this group with Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver. Not that they dislike him, but there's clearly this mood and this shift that Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver want their guys. And they don't see Trey. They've not talked about him as one of their guys. They've talked a lot about Zion. They've talked a lot about the rookies. They've talked even about Herb Jones. You've not heard a lot of conversation and statements about the value of Trey Murphy from either Jamal Mosley or Joe Dumars. So I think he's your best asset, your most tradable asset, but I think there's severe consequences that people need to understand if you give up a player like Trey.
Well, and that's where I want to start, because the modern NBA, you need three-point shooting, and we could argue that this team doesn't have enough of it, and then you're going to trade away your best three-point shooter who's developed and gotten better over the course of his career, and you don't have anybody there to replace him. So, like, that leads me to my question of, does Joe understand that? I made the joke a couple of weeks ago that when he was putting together championship rosters, the triangle offense was still being used. Like, that's not the NBA that exists anymore.
Yeah, you're talking about a coach. You hired a coach in Jamal Mosley whose defensive bona fides cannot be argued. But his team shot the three-point shot horribly in each of the last 4 seasons under him. So you have that. And you're talking about a team, like, even if you just take not adding Jaylen Brown at this moment, but if you just take away Trey Murphy, You're taking away one of only two players in your franchise's history to have multiple seasons with 200 made threes. He was the only player in the league last year with 150 threes, 150 dunks, and 80 steals. So there is a value there. There is a multidimensional. And then you talk about his efficiency. This is someone who scores 20-plus points while having a usage of somewhere around 22% last season. Star players typically have a usage of 30% or more. So he's giving you a lot of points. He shoots 48% from the floor. He shoots 40% from three. He shoots 88% from the free throw line. And he's also under a really valuable contract. He's just starting to make money at $31 million, I believe, next year, or $27 million next year, and then $31 the next. So it's still a reasonable contract for what the production you get. And it's unique. There are only two players under the age of 25 who did what he did last season, and it's him and Anthony Edwards. So anytime you can be put in that kind of class, that's all high value. And then you add in the fact that he's still young at 24, 25 years old. I mean, I think that Trey's just now ascending, and his career has continued to ascend year in and year, and he's got year in and year out, he's gotten better. So it's hard for me to think about all of that. You drafted this guy, you've developed this guy, his value is high, he can fit in any system. If you want to play slow, he works. If you want to play fast, he works. And you're going to give that up, you better get a lot in return.
Is Jaylen Brown and maybe a second-round pick enough in return?
No. And I say this respecting Jaylen Brown's career. 5-time All-Star, multiple-time All-NBA, All-Defensive Player, Finals MVP. Is Jaylen Brown at $61 million, $30 million better than Trey Murphy? You're talking about you're getting a worse three-point shooter, 34% for his career, compared to 38% for Trey. You're talking about a guy who needs the ball constantly. His usage last year was 35%. You've already talked about putting the ball in Zion's hands more. You have a young guard in Jeremiah Fears who needs the ball in his hands. Derek Queen needs the ball in his hands. You add Jaylen Brown to that mix. He is a great individual player. But the Celtics played at the slowest pace in the NBA last year. The reason they were second in the NBA in offense was because they had high-volume three-point shooting around Jaylen Brown. The Pelicans are giving away their best shooter to get Jaylen Brown and have no one on the roster who can up their volume to give you 200 threes, let alone have the most three-pointers in the NBA like the Celtics did. So I think you can add the part, but if you don't have the system and the players around it to make it work, you're just going to have a really expensive toy that doesn't make you any better.
When it's all said and done, and we start ramping up for the season, how many of these players that I'm mentioning to you are still going to be on the Pelicans roster? Trey Murphy, DeJounte Murray, and Mr. Poole.
I think for certain Jordan Poole is gone. However they have to get rid of him, he's gone. But for some reason, I'm still not 100% on Trey being gone just yet. So I'm going to put Poole in the definite. I'm going to put Trey in the likely, and I'm going to say no on DeJounte, that he will be back. He'll be back next year.
We're talking with David Grubb of the Bird Rights. We'll move over to the NBA Finals now, David. And at this point, we thought this would have been a competitive series. We still felt like it was going to be the Knicks that were going to be hoisting the Larry O'Brien trophy. But after the first two games and them going up 2-0 and taking two wins in San Antonio, at this point, are you leaning more towards a sweep, or do you think it'd be more of a gentleman's sweep and you could see the Spurs getting one of these next two games, whether it's tonight or later on in the week?
I think the Spurs there's too much pride there. At some point, I think they get it. I think game one for them was a bit of a hangover from that series against Oklahoma City. You felt like you slayed the Dragon, and you came into your game one, and it felt like they took a lot of bad leg shots, just being mentally and physically tired. In game two, they got beat mentally. I think that New York really out-toughed them, but also was smarter than them and did things, stuck to their game plan where I think San Antonio's gotten away from theirs. They're learning. And I think that eventually they'll figure something out. I don't think that they get swept. I think it could potentially even go 6 games because we've seen this. I think about the Phoenix-Chicago series. Chicago won 2 in Phoenix, and then they go back to Chicago, and the Suns took 2 of 3 in Chicago to send it back to Phoenix where they lost in Game 6. I think you could see that because the Knicks are still a team where they can go through stretches where they don't make shots, and they can struggle defensively. And I think the big thing is you just need a couple of really good games from San Antonio's guards, who have been, besides what Wemby's late game failures, have been the biggest surprise to me is how poorly they've played.
I want to throw this similarity at you and see if you agree with it or not. When we saw what had happened with San Antonio taking down OKC, that felt like that was, like you said, they slayed the dragon. It felt like their kind of Super Bowl with how they were emotionally afterwards. When you look towards what had happened with the Cavs, remember how they had that 22-point lead and then fumbled it and lost that game 1 versus the Knicks? Would you say that game 2 with the Spurs had a similar type of vibe where like that just felt like such a big-time gut punch emotionally to the Spurs that maybe they just don't have enough afterwards to respond and make this somewhat of a series?
I think the big difference is that the Spurs don't have James Harden.
That's fair.
And
can't stand James Harden.
They're far more resilient, and I think that Wemby is that kind of competitor that I don't think he's not going to allow this. Like, he is being embarrassed right now, and I think that he is. If anything, he's not complete. He's not a finished product, but he is as intense a competitor as you're going to find at this stage of his career. And I think he finds something to help his team get a win.
And with Wemby, we know that it was his mistake trying to throw it to Castle when Castle wasn't looking on the fast break. Like there was no need to make that pass at all. But even with that, looking at that last shot, how they gave it to Fox near half court. He dribbles around, goes left, waits for Wemby to set the pick, and then Wemby flares out to the right side and basically takes a Kevin Garnett deep 2. What did you make of that? Did you feel like that was a good setup play? Because I just was not feeling that with how everything was going after Wemby just turned the ball over. Probably doesn't feel like he's all the way there mentally because he put his hands in his face and was like basically moping around right afterwards as Jalen was taking the free throws. Like, did you agree with how that play was set up?
No, I think you try to make that action a lot easier for him. Like, this is 7-4, and you didn't put it in an action where he's going hard towards the basket. Like, force them to deal with him. And I think that's been the biggest thing for me in these first 2 games. In game 1, him settling for 9 threes. That was just a shock to me. And then in game 2, he's not really dominated the paint. And you look at Karl Towns on the other end and what Towns has been able to do to Wemby, been able to put the ball on the floor, to be so efficient with his shooting, still win on the glass. Like, he's doing everything. And I think that, Wemby should be looking at this and learning. Like, you have to use your size at some point. You have to be – it's amazing to me. And I know Ray's got to be thinking about this too, is a jump hook. How do you not have a jump hook if you're, Victor Wembanyama at this stage? That would make your life so much easier. And it's like the points in the paint. He should be dominating there. And against the Knicks backcourt, that is not going to stop a lot of post-entry passes, that you're going to be defended by Josh Hart or Karl Towns, who gets into foul trouble. And you haven't put him in foul trouble once. It's just been a surprise.
And we've seen Cat have some Cat type of fouls, but it doesn't feel like he's been put in a scenario where it's like they got to put him on the bench and bring in Mitchell Robinson and then basically hack Robinson him. It feels like they haven't really been able to utilize that as much. At this point in time, you still believe that this could be a competitive series. Does that mean that you believe that the Spurs will rebound and win tonight?
I think they do win tonight, actually. I think this is the game that, because I think the momentum is there for them. I think the Knicks will come out really early. We'll have a great carry from the crowd early. But I think those are the worst kind of games when all of this emotion is kind of there and people start anticipating things. And I think that energy starts carrying you too much. And I think this is one of those nights where the Spurs will, I think, execute enough late. It's not going to be easy. I think this is a game that's within 3 to 5 points. but I think the Spurs do get this one, and I don't think they win Game 4, but I think that they can win. They can steal Game 5.
David, we appreciate you coming on. Keep up the tremendous work you're doing over there, covering the Pels and covering the NBA, and we'll get you back on soon, all right?
Thanks so much, guys. Always a pleasure.
There goes our guy, David Grubb of the Bird Rights. We're going to go ahead and take a timeout. When we come back, we'll talk about Trey Harris and hear from Trey Harris after he had his football camp over there at our alma mater, over there at Como High School. We'll come back after the break. We'll do that. You're listening to RP3 and Meche.
This is RP3 and Mesh live on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Whether you're needing to get yourself a new or used handgun to help protect your family, or get yourself a new rifle or shotgun for hunting season, or maybe you're just running low on ammo, the place to go, of course, is our friends at Louisiana Gun Shop, located at 2927 Highway 90 East in Broussard. They're open Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. until 6 o'clock in the evening, and because they're a local business, they pride themselves on teaming up with a local finance company to help you with a layaway program. In addition to that, they're also offering classes. That's right, a full concealed carry class on June 27th. That's Louisiana Gun Shop, located at 2927 Highway 90 East in Broussard. Go see them today.
From Tiger Stadium to the Texas state line, ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles is your home for live and local sports talk in Southwest Louisiana. We're your official home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros. ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles also tackles the latest involving the Louisiana Raging Cajuns, McNeese Cowboys, and New Orleans Saints. So keep it locked right here. ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Did you know you can get great tasting Clear Springs artesian water delivered to your office or your doorstep at home? Clear Springs is 100% local with their own bottling facility at the world-famous Kentwood Aquifer, no chemicals added. Just pure Kentwood, Louisiana artesian water. Clear Springs Water offers delivery of 5 or 3-gallon water service with a hot and cold temperature water cooler or even single-serve bottles delivered to your home or office. Easy to reach, clearsprings.net, then contact us tab or 337-519-3563.
And now time for the Expert Minute, brought to you by Sugarland Exterminating. Ever wonder why bugs seem to love your home as much as you do? One big reason? Moisture. Roaches, termites, and ants are drawn to damp areas. Check under sinks, around windows, and in attics for leaks or excess moisture. A little home maintenance goes a long way in keeping those pests out. Got unwanted guests? Call Sugarland Exterminating, 337-367-1414, or visit sugarlandexterminating.com for more information.
Sugarland Exterminating, the pest-free environment we're creating. Spiders, roaches, rats, and mice. Those awful termites are not so nice. Get rid of all your pests right now. Call Sugarland Exterminating.
Termites, they're here. They're invasive. They can destroy your home if left untreated. Sugarland Exterminating has been in business for over 50 years, and they have the experience to effectively treat termites. Call 367-1414 or visit sugarlandexterminating.com.
And that has been your Expert Minute, brought to you by Sugarland Exterminating.
Your Honor, I would like to introduce exhibit number 1.
MeTV is America's #1 classic television network.
There can only be one number 1, me.
MeTV features over 60 of the greatest classic TV series each week.
Go with the winner.
Enjoy dramas, comedies, westerns, sci-fi, and more.
You just watch me.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on Channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
We are the soldiers of the Louisiana Army National Guard. We are your neighbors. We are your sons and daughters. While we serve part-time, we are learning valuable life and job skills. We are earning money for college, for trade and technical schools, and for certification. We are proud to serve both our country and our home state. We are your Louisiana Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
One enjoys eating hot dogs and watching baseball. The other loves eating sushi and playing yogurt U-card games. Not sure exactly what that is, but good for him, I guess. Anyway, back to more RP3 and Meche.
Feels great. Super excited with the way things turned out, and first and foremost, I want to thank all the parents that were able to get their kids to come out. You know, that's the biggest thing, and I want to thank all the kids. It takes a lot of courage to come out here and do something in the summer when you ain't got no school, you ain't got nothing to do, and you came out here and you competed. And just super excited with the way things came out today.
That's former Como High and Louisiana Tech turned Ole Miss star Trey Harris about hosting his football camp this past weekend there at Como. He just wrapped up his rookie year with the Los Angeles Chargers, made a bit of an impact. We expect maybe even a bigger role for him entering year number 2. But he still came back home and still took care of the community, still trying to give back to the community. And that's extremely important to him because, as he told all of us on Saturday after the conclusion of his camp, that it was the community itself that helped raise him, and that's his way of giving back.
Feels great, especially being able to come back to Como. I know, unfortunately, there are things going on with the LPSS and things like that, and I'm hoping to keep the school open. And but being able to come back to the community that fed me, you know, there's plenty of people here on the staff and even these parents that I've known my entire life. And for them, they fed me. They got me to the point that I'm at right now. This is me just paying that back to them, and I'm super excited I was able to. And, you know, every year I want to be able to do this for the community. And, you know, this year it grew a lot bigger than I thought it was going to grow, and each year I wanted to grow each and every year.
Yeah, the word got out. the word got out about that camp. That's how it usually works. And so that's great, you know, what that means to him. He was also asked, you know, he mentioned it a little bit there, and we've talked about it on the air, that the closure of Como High School and in its future and everything. And Trey is a proud Como High grad. His football camp was held there at Como High School on Saturday. This is what he had to say when asked about the closing of his alma mater.
It's kind of heart-wrenching, to be honest with you. It's a lot of history, especially for my family. You know, my dad, he came to the school. My 2 older sisters came to the school. And all my friends that I'm still friends with to this day came to the school. And there's so many people here that represent the school. And I know that they all have the same mind, and they want the school to continue living. And not only that, I feel like if this school continues to live on, there's a lot of people and there's a lot of things that this school is able to provide for people. You know, this school is not a bad school. The school is able to have a really high grade. And, you know, there's things that this school can still provide for people. And I just don't want anybody to, you know, down talk the school. And I really just hope the school stays open.
It's got to be rough for someone like him. And I know you've talked about it as well, James, how much your school means to you. Even though you weren't a star athlete there, it's still your school. It's where you graduated from. You know, I remember doing ball games back in the day on the radio for Lafayette High and got to watch Trey because he was their quarterback, because he was their best athlete. That's even when they had Malik. And going, boy, that kid's a football player.
He was a stud.
And you watched him, and he left Como. He didn't, and I'm not knocking Malik, but he didn't leave his senior year to go somewhere else, right?
Mm-hmm.
He stayed with Como. He graduated from Como. He got an offer from Louisiana Tech. He went to La Tech. He got a better opportunity to go to Ole Miss. Went to Ole Miss.
And he balled out over there.
And now he's in the NFL. It's got to be tough for a place that meant so much to him and helped shape him, and the coaches and the teachers that helped mold him into the person that he is, to have that fact, knowing that the school that meant so much to you and your development as a man is going to be closing. It's got to be tough. It just has to be.
Well, not only that, but also with how soon it happened after graduation. Because he graduated a couple years after me. I graduated in 2018. He graduated a little bit after. But the fact that we're now in 2026 and all of a sudden it's like, hey, the school's getting closed, like this just feels like a hop, skip, and a jump since we were in high school. Like it's coming up on a decade, and for him it was a little closer to 5 years, but still, like the fact that it's been so close since we graduated high school, and all of a sudden, boom, that high school is likely to be closed. I mean, that just feels like it's a punch in the gut. That just feels like I don't want to say a betrayal, but I mean, it feels like a betrayal because there was no signs of saying, hey, this school might be closing down soon, especially after all the renovations that they had to the school. Like, they did it with the athletics, whether you look at the track, whether you look at the football stadium, the press box, the stands themselves, and then even when you look at the school, like, I remember school definitely didn't look the greatest inside, but I mean, they did such a makeup on it. It looks so much better than it did even when we were in high school. And now all of a sudden they're saying it's closing. It's like, that just is going to throw you for a loop emotionally. Like, if it would have happened later in life, like 30 years down the road, I'd been like, man, this really sucks. But it hits even more because we were at that school not too long ago.
Yep. And it is kind of crazy. Now, what's also kind of a full circle moment, we talk about guys here from Acadiana that give back, right? And a lot of our guys have football camps. Keon Coleman had one earlier this year. Jack Besh is having one in a couple of weeks that we'll go to. And, of course, you know, we know how much Kevin Falk has meant to the community and what he has done. And it's not surprising that Trey Harris has a connection to Kevin Falk because he used to go to his camp when he was growing up.
Yeah, for sure. I remember when I was younger, I used to go to Kevin Falk camps down in Karen Crow, so just being able to see young kids run around here, kind of just see myself and all of them, to be honest with you, even just growing up, even to the middle school age, you know, just really trying to prove yourself to, you know, your peers. And, you know, I'm super glad I was able to come out here and, you know, give these kids that opportunity, and I'm definitely going to be looking forward to the next one.
Sounds, I just love it. Kind of like a full circle moment. It's so great. So great to see. So congratulations on Trey. Hopefully the camp will get even bigger and better next year. Coming up in a couple weeks on a Saturday is going to be Jack Besh's camp there at STM. So our guys are making the rounds, making sure to give back to the community that helped raise them and love them and help mold them into the men that they are. Got to take a time out. When we come back, our second and final guest on today's show, Brett Chansey from Locked On Astros. That's next.
This is RP3 and Meche live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The Houston Astros took 2 out of 3 from the Athletics at home this past weekend, including a 13-2 win on Saturday to improve their record to 30-37. Next up is a road series against the Angels. Game 1 is tonight, and first pitch from Angel Stadium is scheduled for 8:38, and you can listen to the action on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. In the NBA playoffs, the New York Knicks took a 2-0 lead in the finals with a 105-104 win over the San Antonio Spurs. Now, the series moves to New York with Game 3 being tonight. Tip-off from Madison Square Garden is set for 7:30. LSU's Michaela Williams and Mylasia Fuwiley helped Team USA win gold in the 2026 FIBA 3v3 Half-Court Women's Basketball World Cup. Williams also took home MVP in the tournament. LSU football also landed a 5-star edge rusher in KJ Green, who is the number 8 overall player in the 2027 class. Super Regional Weekend will continue tonight. West Virginia, Troy, UNC, Ole Miss, Texas, and Georgia all moved on this weekend. We're still awaiting a winner in the Lawrence and Tuscaloosa Super Regional. And on the PGA Tour, JT Paulson got past Ryan Gerard in a playoff to win the Memorial Tournament in Dublin, Ohio. I'm James Meche, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana sports station, your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Row coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
Lafayette Stars and Stripes is back and bigger than ever as America celebrates its 250th anniversary. Join us Friday, July 4th at Park International in downtown Lafayette for a night of patriotic fun. Gates open at 5 p.m. with live music by Sold Out and Rusty Matuire and the Zydeco Crush, along with delicious food trucks, family activities, local vendors, and plenty of surprises. Then, look to the sky for a spectacular fireworks finale at 9:30 p.m. Free admission presented by Lafayette Utility System, LFT Fiber, and Delta Media.
And now time for the Expert Minute, brought to you by Sugarland Exterminating. Ever wonder why bugs seem to love your home as much as you do? One big reason? Moisture. Roaches, termites, and ants are drawn to damp areas. Check under sinks, around windows, and in attics for leaks or excess moisture. A little home maintenance goes a long way in keeping those pests out. Got unwanted guests? Call Sugarland Exterminating, 337-367-1414, or visit sugarlandexterminating.com for more information.
Sugarland Exterminating. Pest-free environment we're creating. Spiders, roaches, rats, and mice. Those awful termites are not so nice. Get rid of all your pests right now. Call Sugarland Exterminating.
Termites, they're here. They're invasive. They can destroy your home if left untreated. Sugarland Exterminating has been in business for over 50 years, and they have the experience to effectively treat termites. Call 367-1414 or visit sugarlandexterminating.com.
And that has been your Expert Minute, brought to you by Sugarland Exterminating.
We are the soldiers of the Louisiana Army National Guard. We are your neighbors. We are your sons and daughters. While we serve part-time, we are learning valuable life and job skills. We are earning money for college, for trade and technical schools, and for certifications. We are proud to serve both our country and our home state. We are your Louisiana Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
I've been driving trucks for a long time. Safety is my #1 priority. I know that my truck has huge blind spots. That's why I remember to check my mirrors often for smaller vehicles. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're behind the wheel, try to avoid lingering in those blind spots. It can be dangerous. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
You're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. Your home for the Houston Astros.
Those Astros won themselves a little series, mind you. They're getting healthy as well. Guys are coming back, going through rehab assignments. Are brighter days ahead for the Houston Astros now that we're entering the summer. To talk about those Stros is the man who talks about them all the time, even when no one asks him to. Like literally, he's just at the HEB over there in H-Town. He just starts talking about the Stros. The lady's like, "Sir, did you want to use your coupon?" And he's trying to talk about Alvarez for MVP. That's how much he loves him. Brett Chansey from Locked On Astros joins us now. Good day, sir.
That's right, and I actually found 3 new followers when I went down to Dutch Bros to get the family a drink for the morning to get our day started. And I was like, hey, they were like, nice hat. And I said, are you a Stros fan? And they're like, so we started talking, and now we've got some new listeners. That's what we do, spreading the gospel of Locked On Astros every day.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do, you maniac. We love you for it. All right, just give me your thoughts about winning a series against a divisional opponent. Let's just start there, because obviously it was disappointing losing the series to Pittsburgh, but you bounce back, you get a series win against a divisional opponent that was above you in the standings. Just give me your overall thoughts about the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, the first 2 games, I think, went great. I mean, obviously, the second game is probably the game of the year up to this point. The way that they, completely just obliterated the Athletics. Maybe the other game where they came back and won 11-9 might top that versus the Pirates. But you like taking the first 2. You would have loved to take the third, but you got Altuve back. He contributed. Lamont Wade Jr. contributed. Yordan Alvarez continued to hit the ball. So there were a lot of positives. you have to win one game at a time, one series at a time. And, going into going into Anaheim, there's no reason why the Astros don't get a 3-game sweep. I mean, if they can go and take the Angels, take the Royals, they're only one game under 500. So now things become a little bit clearer. But getting guys healthy back is key, and making sure that you plate the guys that are on base. You got to quit leaving runners in scoring position. I still would like to see that improvement, especially going on the road.
You're also getting healthy at the right time, right? You got reinforcements coming. Where do we stand on the guys that have been banged up, injured, either from the lineup or in the pitching staff that are making their way back up to the roster?
Well, I know Hunter Brown's making a start Wednesday for the Space Cowboys, and guess what? Justin Verlander's making a start in their AAA for the Tigers on Wednesday, and that actually lines up nice where you might have Verlander versus Hunter Brown in their first start back off the IL in 2026. That would be cool. Look, Joey Loperfido is healthy. He's hitting really well in AAA. The only reason why I see him not coming up is because they signed Lamont Wade Jr., because Trammell's been on somewhat of a heater. But, man, I would love to see Loperfido up there. I hear Javier's making progress. Their pitchers that have been on the IL are making the progress they need to make to hopefully contribute sooner rather than later. But, man, getting Hunter Brown back will be, I think, priority number one after his final, which should be his final rehab start in AAA.
All right. So that's good. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Are you giving, obviously there's a lot of talk because of their record that Alvarez would net them a Juan Soto type of haul. I don't see any scenario where Jim Crane would trade the big fella who's an MVP candidate to this point of the season. I don't see that. I don't buy into that. What I want to ask you, though, is there's been kind of the under-the-radar stuff being reported, in particular Jeff Passan, who has his connections, that says if the Stros do move on from someone, the most likely candidate, in his opinion, would be a young all-star shortstop in Jeremy Pena. Do you see that as a possibility if this team, as we get closer to the trade deadline, is still, say, 5 or 6 games under 500?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, you have to see where you're at the end of June, because June is a very winnable month. June is a month where you can come out not just over 500, but several games over 500 for the month of June, which would probably put you in first place, depending on how the Mariners do. The Mariners have been hotter than cold lately. They did lose a series to the Tigers, but they've been playing a lot better ball. Jeremy Pena, to me, is the most realistic trade piece that would net you a solid return in that. Yeah, you're right. Yordan Alvarez is absolutely untouchable. I think the city would completely riot if Yordan Alvarez was traded. I mean, that would be devastating. And not that Jeremy Pena isn't beloved in the city, but I think people understand who Jeremy Pena is and what kind of value he has. And you have other guys on the field that can kind of fill that void. Now, what complicates this is Carlos Correa being out for the whole season. I think that is the cog in the Jeremy Pena trade wheel, that if he was healthy and if you have Paredes and if you have Correa, I think it's a much easier decision for the Astros to move on from Pena. But if you're going to get something rather than nothing and let him walk, because more than likely he's going to want to sign for a lot of money that the Astros aren't going to want to pay him for the years, so you get something while you can. I think, yes, to answer your question, it's just where do the Astros – I think if there's even a glimmer of hope, I think if the door is slightly cracked, I don't think they trade him. I know everybody's like, they're going to be sellers. I just don't know. I mean, Jim Crane said the window will never close. But, I mean, I think he's got to Katie bar the door open at this point, because the chances of them making a long playoff run, I think, are slim still. But we still got almost 100 games left. So Pena might not be a Houston Astro by season's end.
How much confidence do you have in this team to be able to turn things around and get back into the playoff picture, say, by July?
Okay, so if going back to my first point with June, if they come out of June and they only lose, let's say, 9 games in June, then puts you in first place. I think this team can make the playoffs, and it's not necessarily because of this team, but it's A, because the team gets healthy, starts playing better, and B, because the American League is a steaming pile of mediocrity. You still only have 5 teams in the AL that are over 500. And I think the 6th wildcard team, or the final wildcard team, is still under 500. So with that being known and this being where you're at, I mean, if you're in the National League, no. I mean, it's tanked, you're done, you're not recovering. But in the AL, I guess all things are possible. I think it's possible that this team can go to the playoffs, can make the playoffs. I just don't know how long of a sustained run they can go on. But the hardest part is, like my partner in crime, Mike Stanton, says, on back to the bullpen, the hardest thing is making it to the playoffs. Once you get there, everybody starts at 0-0, and it's anybody's ball game.
We're talking with Brett Chansey, host of the Locked On Astros podcast. Brett, kind of going back to what we'd seen last week when we thought this was going to be a highly coveted matchup between Paul Skeens and Spencer Arrighetti, a big-time Louisiana ties. Thought it could very easily be a pitcher's duel with how good they've been. It could turn out to be the complete opposite. When it comes to Spaghetti, he's going to be starting in this series against the Angels. This has to feel like this is going to be a bounce-back game for him, right?
Oh, yeah, look, Arrighetti went out there, and how many times does anybody in the league win a pitcher of the month, pitcher of the week, player of the month, player of the week, and then like the next game or two, they just seem to like the league figures them out? That is the mental side of baseball. And Spencer Arrighetti did say to MLB Network, which I'm just more and more impressed with him every time he talks, is he said it kind of put a chip on his shoulder when he started the season in AAA. I think it kind of pissed him off. And he's also voiced, like, in the clubhouse, I know how good we are. I know it seems all doom and gloom, but we know what we're doing. We know what our goal is, and we're going to keep fighting. We haven't given up. So I think Spencer Arrighetti is absolutely going to look at what he did and didn't do. He said he forced the fastball issue. He said you shouldn't throw 5 fastballs in a row to a major league player. He said I was convinced that was the right course of action. So he's going to learn from it. He is a blue-collar kid. He's from Katy, Texas. He knows what he's doing on the mound, and I think he wants to compete. He likes the fact that he's in the conversation for top 5, top 10 pitcher, and I really think that you're going to see that Arrighetti swag, the Arrighetti strut. He's going to strike out several Angels when he gets out there to Anaheim.
What do you think about that with a player that is so in tune and really pays attention to what is being talked about him from a nationwide perspective, not necessarily just locally, but from overall? Because it feels like nowadays a lot of guys are like, it's impossible to tune out the noise, but they try to as much as possible. But for Spencer, he's out there. It's like, yeah, I'm paying attention to what y'all have to say about me all the time.
Look, some guys are just built for this. Mm-hmm. Some guys, they go in there and it has to do with what they went through in high school. It has to do with what they went through in college. And a lot of that, too, is probably because of upbringing and who he was surrounded by. Some athletes, some pros some leaders are very intimidated by criticism and people, and they don't like that. But Arrighetti seems to take the right motivations, right? The right mindset, whether it's starting in AAA or whether it's hearing the negativity. He's confident in who he is, and I think that's one of his biggest attributes. It's the non-tangibles of baseball is what makes a player great. And we're seeing Spencer Arrighetti grow up and mature right before our eyes, and I just don't think we've even seen the best out of Spencer Arrighetti. Now, some people say he's the quote-unquote luckiest pitcher, but I think as long as he relies on his sweeper and does the right pitching sequence, you're going to see Arrighetti continue to miss bats and attack the strike zone and do that with confidence.
And then just looking at this series as a whole versus the Angels, it'll be on the road, and we'll hear it right here on ESPN Southwest Louisiana Sports Station. But with this series, I find it interesting that the Angels, they haven't been doing a whole lot of winning, haven't really been winning too many series, but they haven't necessarily been getting swept too often either. What do you just make up of this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, the guy that Spencer Arrighetti is opposing on the mound, was it Grayson Rodriguez, who came over from the Orioles, who actually I wanted the Astros to look at. Dude's got a 9.50 ERA and 18 innings pitched, so he hasn't exactly lit up the scoreboard in the right way. And they have guys like Trout. They've got Neto, who's actually having a really good year, probably their best overall hitter currently, I would say. But this is a ball club that there's a lot of swing and miss in their game. But you know what? They can jump on you, because if you look at what they did, I believe in L.A., they jumped on the Dodgers, beat them 13-5. So it's baseball. It's why you play the game. You don't go on paper and go, oh, guys, hey, we're going to go into this. We suck. We're going to lose. I mean, the Angels are going to go out there and they're going to compete. But the Astros, as long as they stay within themselves, I think they'll be fine. I like Game 1 matchup. Game 2, Kai-Wei Tang, I like him to continue his success. And then to complete that 3-game series, you have Peter Lambert, who has been a revelation for the Astros. So the pitching matchup lines up great. The X factor in Anaheim is, can they score runs? Can they put up crooked numbers? And if they can do that, this is a 3-game sweep. But then again, this is 2026, and anything is possible.
Brett, we appreciate you coming on. As always, we know that you'll be off next week, but we'll get back with you in 2 weeks' time, all right?
Yeah, definitely. We'll be sailing the 7 seas. Well, not literally all 7, but we will be out on a family cruise. And let me tell you, I haven't been on a vacation in a couple years now, so it'll be nice to literally get away.
Absolutely. And there goes our guy, Brett Chansey, host of the Locked On Astros podcast. We're going to go ahead and take a timeout. When we come back, we'll wrap up this edition of RP3 Meche. Get you ready with the lowdown with D'Lo after this.
This is RP3 and Meche live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is your home for the Houston Astros.
And the Astros stun the Mariners.
Hunter Brown, Yordan Alvarez, and the rest of the Astros are looking to get back to the postseason. You can listen to every pitch, hit, and thrilling victory of the Houston Astros.
Incredible!
As Robert Ford and Steve Sparks will be on the call. Tune in this season for live Astros baseball on Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Misfits Dine and Drink, a destination restaurant in Broussard, is constantly evolving. Dine in for great food and a great atmosphere. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or brunch on Saturday or Sunday, stop in to enjoy a handmade gourmet pizza or one of their delicious pastas. Take a sip of their new and seasonal craft cocktails and mocktails. And don't forget dessert. Try the birthday cake bread pudding. Whether it's new menu items or old favorites, come to Misfits for a great food experience. It's classic Italian with a modern twist. Misfits Dine and Drink, 200 Heritage Parkway off Highway 90 in Broussard.
Imagine building your dream backyard pool without ever leaving your couch. With Duplessis Builders, you can go shop our in-ground gunite pool packages online, start to finish. Browse our pool designs, compare features, see exactly what's included, and choose the package that fits your style and budget. Once you purchase, our team takes over. From permit and excavation to gunite decking and final startup, you click, we build, you swim. Your backyard upgrade is just a few clicks away. Visit DuplessisBuilders.net and buy your pool online today.
Tax season doesn't have to be stressful. Not with Black & Gold Tax Service in your corner. Conveniently located on Main Street in Broussard, we offer in-office appointments and virtual consultations. You can upload your documents to our secured portal, and we offer secure digital drop-offs. Members of the Better Business Bureau, we proudly serve South Louisiana in all 50 states with integrity, expertise, and personalized care. Visit blackandgoldtax.com and let Black & Gold Tax Service make taxes easy. Black & Gold Tax Service, where accuracy meets Acadiana pride.
Oh, look who's here.
Everybody Loves Raymond is on MeTV.
Who told you that?
Raymond!
America's #1 classic TV network.
Nothing even comes close.
Enjoy 2 back-to-back episodes every weeknight.
We're doing it twice.
Watch Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, it's all about you, Raymond.
Weeknights starting at 8 on MeTV.
Watch Meet TV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices.
To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
The biggest headlines in the world of sports are discussed here. ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Oh, we want to take a moment to thank our guest, David Grubb of the Bird Rights, talking NBA Finals, the latest with the New Orleans Pelicans, and, of course, Brett Chansey with the Locked On Astros podcast. Some breaking news to share with you about a local product that has made a commitment here. Marquez Davis, he's a star player for the Northwest High Raiders in St. Landry Parish. The 6'3", 180-pound cornerback is chosen the LSU Tigers over Houston, West Virginia, and Texas Tech. He is officially committed to LSU, he tells Hayes Fawcett and rivals, of course, Corey Raymond, the godfather of DBU from New Iberia and a former LSU Tiger, locking up one of the area in the state's best defensive backs. No one is surprised by this information. How about a quick update on the poll question of the day, sir?
Absolutely. Will the Spurs win Game 3 tonight and make this somewhat of a series at minimum? Majority of the votes, Ray, are saying no. In fact, Ralph even sent a gif of someone, man, what's the movie from? But basically just saying it's a sweep. I was ready to say the movie, and I just lost it.
Movies are hard. They're hard for James Meche because he hasn't watched many.
I don't watch any of them.
Man does not watch.
It was
movies.
a Robin Williams movie.
That narrows it down. He was only in about 75 of them.
The one where he dresses a female.
Oh, Mrs. Doubtfire.
There it is.
There you go. There we go, bud. Give you an update on the Super Regionals. The final spot, Alabama beat St. John's, wrapped up their game this morning. They punched their ticket, so now we have 7 of the 8 teams. Kansas currently trails Oklahoma 8-1. That game has finally resumed. They're in the top of the 6th. The Sooners lead that series 1-0, so if they hold on and win this game, they punch their ticket to Omaha as well, and yet another SEC team in the field there in the College World Series. So we'll see what happens and look ahead to the College World Series later on this week. That's going to do it for today's show. We'll try to be better tomorrow, 11-1. But right now, it's time for the Lowdown with D-Lo.
You thinking trailers? Think Tibbs. Whether you tug it, tow it, or transport it, Tibbs Trailers is your headquarters for enclosed, flatbed, and hydraulic trailers. You won't find a better selection or a better price than right here. We've got the experts to repair or customize your trailer so it'll be ready for whatever you pull it through. Why would you go anywhere else when you can go to Tibbs Trailers? Now we're talking.